wind will be light enough for that to happen. Full body stretch out. Places, please. You will need your strap today. So I hope you can hear me. Can anybody thumbs up me or, yeah? Because I'm going to step back on my pad.
We can hear you.
Okay. Glasses. Rocking and rolling. We're going to start with our breath. 2 different breathing exercises. Ready? Feet together. Lift and take it all in. I want you to give a little space at your heels, right? Big toe edges touching. As you come through your rotation, squeeze your parts and push the arms away from each other. Lift and breathe up. Squeeze belly to spine, nice strong legs, full rotation, exhale. You're doing 10 of them. Your real goal is just feel yourself increase and lengthen the amount of time that you spend on both inhaling and exhaling. And since you have several seconds in both positions, you then get to check in with your parts. Do you feel the big toes edges touching each other? I wiggle mine so that I connect mine to toes. Lift and breathe. Are you standing really solidly through the heels, which helps you straighten your legs even more? When you straighten your legs even more, then pinch your derriere. As you're pinching your derriere and exhaling, draw your belly button all the way back to your spine. As the arms go through their full extension, as you rotate, draw the shoulders down. Now we're going to say that's 10. If you can keep your arms up, what I want you to do is to crisscross your thumbs and bring your index fingers together in a point, right? And all the, like you're creating that steeple. Work your arms up, all right, if your shoulders permit it, and try to take your chin and set your chin at neutral. And then use your arms to squeeze your ears. Lengthen through the index fingers. Tip. This movement is super small, okay? What happens is, if you're focusing on touching your index fingers together, which you should be, sometimes the palms pull apart from each other. So now, not only keep the index fingers touching, I want you to mash the palms together, right? And now, as you tip to this side, take the palm on the bottom hand and push it up, the heel of the bottom hand, push it up into the high arm, and then really lengthen your index fingers. Come up to center, breathe in. Are the big toes still touching each other? Yes, right? Tip to the other side. Squeeze your bun, strong legs. Take the bottom hand, press it into the high hand. Reach the index fingers. Come up. Do one more time. Inhale. Let the hips slide. Lengthen the arms. Try not to offload the feet, right? Don't roll to the outside edge of the far leg. Keep your big toes touching. Lift and breathe. Slice with the hips first, and then drive the stretch with your arms. Belly to spine. Come up. Now the arms should feel like they're heavy and they want to come down, okay? So if you're facing the screen, turn to the side because I want you to be able to turn your head and keep your neck in neutral. take your body, go into just this forward fold. You don't even have to worry about if you're in cat back or sway back. I just want you into whatever feels like a comfortable fold. And you're going to take your arms, and your arms are going to do these little circles like this. Okay? For me, it feels good to try to establish more S curve than C curve. Although C curve just, when I do C curve, I feel not my low back, I feel the stretch higher than across the low back. Take your arm circles, go the other way. If you can stop looking at the screen, I want you to just let the weight of your head hang. And the arms should just really start feeling like they're coming back to life, no pain. So since we've spent enough time, if you've been in C curve, go ahead and start driving the fanny back, lengthen the spine, take your arms, stop the movement, put elbows on thighs. If this feels like it's too much work for you, like you're in a too deep of a squat, then pop up a little bit and go hands to thighs, but you're going in. And as you cat, your legs almost fully extend. They're not to lock out, but that's just to help you get your full rounding, okay? As you go into sway back, draw the shoulders out of the ears. So round, I'm gonna go back down to my thighs, elbows to thighs, round, and release. On the rounding, draw your chin to your chest and raise the fanny up. And as you come into S curve, slide the shoulders, pull the head up through the stretch, release the neck, start the round, suck your navel up to your spine, pop the fanny up, do this last sway back, lowering the hips, shoulders out of ears, the spine is long, chin lifts, and now from here, pull yourself up, rise up. Okay, we've done one breath cycle. Now it's time to do the next breath cycle, right? Back to your side, touching, right? Big toe edges touching, a little space at the heels. Point the fingertips down, interlace them, close, draw the knuckles right up into the jawline. This is you lifting the elbows as you inhale, and then gently floating your jawline up, eyes open, buns tight. Close the gap between your arms if you can. Exhale. The neck releases. Fill up those lungs. Slow rocking of the head back. Squeeze the navel to spine. Buns tight. Strong legs. Shoulders out of the ears. Eyes open and elbows touching. Lift and breathe. There's probably about 5 more checkpoints we could put in there. Let's see. Navel to spine. Strong through the knees. Buns tight. You're drawing your belly in as you exhale. Connect the elbows. Hold it here. Lift and breathe. Practice your guttural exhale. Close your mouth. Again, try that. You should not be exhaling through the nose, right? It's a guttural thing. So with the mouth closed, it comes out. You got about 4 more. As we do the next 3, and you feel your elbows draw together, I want you to feel your buns get tighter, your legs get stronger, right? Squeeze it all together. 2 more. As you do this last one, hold it. You're going to inhale as deep as you can, and you're going to hold it. Do the same thing on the exhale. Go slow When you've gotten it all out, take an extra little pause and relax. Good. Okay. Second set, cat back, sway back, right? See what your body will do. First, just comfortably relax yourself. Down you go. Keep your knees soft. How close are you to getting your hands to the floor? Don't resist it. Can you then take your gaze, stop looking up, look down at your space, let the weight of the head relax. Now you're looking through your legs. And now start bending the legs to a point that feels comfortable, because you're going to decide, do you want to go hands to thighs or elbows to thighs? And we're going to do 4 of the cat back sway backs, okay? But really try to get yourself in a braced position. The thing is we don't want our arms doing nothing. Use your arms to offload some of your back, your weight, your trunk weight. Elbows pressing into the thighs, chin to chest. And then elbows stay pressing into the thighs if you've gone that route, and raise your chin up. Start tucking the chin. I'm going to transition up to hands to thighs. The arms, the back bows. And then you get to squeeze it all back together as you come up and look up, shoulders out of the ears. Do one more. Round your spine. And now, instead of rolling up, just relax the body back down to its full hang, whatever that feels like for you, okay? And we're going to take our arms, and with your legs and whatever, like, if you want your legs fully extended, I'm okay with that, but it might feel better if you soften them just a little bit. And we're tracing this little semicircle around our space. So go from the outside edge of one foot, trace around to the outside edge of the other foot. How far are you from actually being able to touch the ground, right? Maybe that's not the problem. Maybe your hamstrings are really flexible, and so your wrists are practically dragging along the floor. Don't hold yourself up. Let your body take its full stretch line. As you come around to one leg, stop. Bring your forehead towards that knee over there. Not by bending the leg deeper, just by drawing your chin towards your chest and forehead towards the knee. Maybe you grab hold of your leg to anchor your arm so you can get it. Release the head and neck. Soften the knees a little bit to get around to the other side. Anchor arms to leg. How close are you to be able to get the forehead to the knee? Don't fight it, because you don't want to cramp up your abdominal wall. Come back to center. Bend your legs. Take your bent legs as deep as your body will let you go. And then I want you to just start inching your toe and heel line a little bit wider. Can you use your elbows to drive the knees open? Even if your butt is really high, okay? Even if your spine is in C curve, you can find a way to put the elbow along the inside of the knee, drive the arms apart from each other, or you're down nice and low, right? And when you draw down nice and low with the intention of pulling your neck and chest up, look out, and then lift the hips, round the spine, roll it up, come back to neutral. Okay. I'm going to turn to the side just for the sake of being able to stay on my mat. You can direct yourself whichever way you want to go. I want you to have the same arm and leg in motion together. And some of you might not be able to go any higher, depending on what your shoulder does, right? Then just get the halfway point. But this is a rhythm thing. You're actually going to try to trace a complete circle. So on the front step, get the full rise if your shoulder permits it. On the back end, right, you are using same arm with the moving leg. Right arm, right leg. Switch legs, Jen. Right arm, right leg. Step forward, lift the arm, step back, switch legs, Jen. Right arm, right leg. Nope, right arm, right leg. Right arm, right leg. Step back. Now, maybe, hold on 1 second, class. Turn and face me. Good. Right arm, right leg. When you step back, your right leg travels beyond your left leg. Keep stepping back. Good. Step forward. Right arm, right leg. It's only the right arm and the right leg. Right arm, right leg. What's happening is if you do not step far enough back, you've got nowhere to go with this movement. We're not into an alternating arm. What I want you to try to do is when you come through the back end of your stretch, turn the palm open, right? Raise up, inhale, exhale, pull back. On your step back is where the freedom of the movement is. The stretch isn't happening along the front step. It's when you travel back that you get to open the body up. Inhale. So don't stop yourself short. It's a little rock step. And for once, we're not articulating whether or not this traveling leg needs to be toes pointed forward. On the back end, just let it open up. On the next back step, you're going to stop and pause. Open leg stride, right? Ulnar nerve flossing. I want you to take your fingers on your back hand, take your head, draw hand and head towards shoulder, and then extend the arm, turn your head away from your arm, drawing the shoulders down. You're doing 4, hand to head, hand to shoulder, right? And tip away. Inhale, exhale. Do one more. Inhale. On this one, you're gonna hold. So we're holding the head away from that arm, flick the wrists far away, draw the shoulders down. Now turn your head as far away from that hand as you can get. Relax the head first, release the arm. If you want to redirect your body, turn yourself around, right? Whatever works for you. In the most ideal situation, we would all have a wall right next to us. So for me, you know how I always reference things? My mat. My mat, if there was a wall coming up from the edge of my mat, right? My arm would be tracing the circle on and around the wall, right? Step forward with your, if you're using left arm, left foot is traveling. Get a nice forward step and a good return step so that you can feel your body rock heel to toe. Step, and if you go with me, then now you have your front, right? Heel from the floor. When you step, there we go. Okay. So if you don't have the imagination, right, of what would be happening with you on the wall, what where the wall comes into this is your palm traces along the wall, right? So some of you have been in the gym with me and you're like, yeah, I remember doing that one. I'd take you to the wall, we'd be on the line, your arm would be working up and around the wall, and then take this next circle back. You're gonna stop, right? You pause, press the hand into your imaginary wall, turn your head away, and that just starts lengthening your stretch. Ready? Ulnar nerve, nerve glide. Bring hand to shoulder, ear to shoulder, and then tip it away. Are you standing here with 2 stiff legs? Do you feel a little uncomfortable? Because all you have to do is soften your front knee and it'll give you the balance that you need. Hand to shoulder, ear to shoulder, and inhale. Tip the arm, right? Or tip the head and extend the arm. Inhale, connect. Exhale, drive. And on this drive action, really get the wrist pushing away and then sweep the head and into a rotated glance off towards the other side of your body. Pull your belly in, As you release your parts, relax it out, okay? Go wrists pressing into the body line. Give them a good push. You get to decide where do your hands need to be, right? I'm going to keep getting off my mat. Sometimes if all you have is just a little bit like from the knuckles pushing, that's not enough connection. You want to really try to connect, not just at the knuckles but up here closer to the wrist joint, and get the push. And as you're pushing, this would be a great time do you have a mirror that you can reference, right? Since so many of us don't, if all we did was, if we exaggerated the lifted shoulder line, like without a doubt, that's wrong. Okay. And most of us aren't standing here like that, but go for your depression. Keep depressing it. As you depress it, try to expand across your chest line. Now, most of us weren't there to begin with. Somewhere between there and full depression is where most of us were. So let's go again. Lift. This is wrong. Full depression. As you depress, feel and look. Watch the elbows pull back from each other. Squeeze your belly to spine. It'll allow you to give a deeper press line into the hands. Okay? Keep holding. You should feel like your wings have been drawn together, right? That is part of what's called retraction. And don't miss out on that. And release. Relax the hands. Okay. So I want you to work your legs nice and far apart. If you feel like when we do some of these big leg movements, we're not going into warrior or anything like that, but we are going to pick a side. And right now, both of my feet are turned out, but we're going to gravitate to a couple of different angles here. You could always put yourself so that your chair is in front of you or you're behind your chair. You can move around your space, turn to the side. I want you to feel like your legs are far enough apart that you can take what looks like a lunge. And right now, we've just got the feet flared. Give a depression. Slide into it. You've got your anchor leg. Come up. Can you start rotating this foot a little bit more? Press. This leg is still turned out, and it's very different than what would happen if you were in warrior. But you should feel like your buns are starting to do some work. You're starting to get a little pull through that inner thigh. What's your knee doing? Do you see the outside edge of your foot? Because if you do, your knee's going the wrong way. You want to see down the inside edge of this line and put eyes on that ankle. And now, pull your arch away from the floor. How do you draw the knee and the ankle away from the internal position to get your arch to lift off the floor without your big toe lifting? It's called muscle activation in a very, very specific order. Draw the leg up, swivel it. Don't come full swivel, just back to both legs being plied, right? Take leg number 2, start the bend, right? Maybe your bend is really subtle. Maybe it doesn't look like you're actually really bending your leg. That's okay. The same rules apply. The rule is drive the knee back, look down the inside of this leg, and you'll know if all you see is your big toe, that's not enough. You may have to take your hand, give a little extra push, and now as you're driving the knee back, right, I want you to try to, don't lift the big toe from the floor. I want you to try to peel your arch up away from the mat. The heel and the toes are still on the mat. You're just working that part of your foot, which seems really weird, okay? Because it takes a lot to control that. And I'm drawing it back, and then I'm allowing it to come back down. I'm pulling my knee back, including the arch, and then letting it go back down. So subtle. Pull it back. From anybody who was just observing, they wouldn't, the movement is so subtle, it just looks like I'm posted here. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything. But yet my legs know that I'm doing something, right? The more you push this bent leg back, the more you'll feel a firing on the outer part of your glute. That's called your glute medius. Now, re-straighten the leg. Let's inch them, right? Toe, heel if you can. Okay, here's where you're like, okay, a little bit of balance work. Can you step over? The degree of how far you can get your foot across the other leg will really dictate how much stretch you get. And if you're uncomfortable, put yourself next to your chair, right? Cross the leg over. And now this front leg, it's a non-issue for us. It's not stiff, it's just there. When the leg crosses over, the further the leg crosses over, the more the hip gets to slide. That's your start point. So we've already done a very simple version of this when we had our body doing this, okay? That was the beginning phase. This is the next degree of I don't want to say challenge, but we're increasing the stretch line. So slide the hips, shoulders down. Can you add the arm for a little extra extension? When you're able to leverage your stretch by having your arm up, you'll find that your arm, if you're able to get your arm to come over the body line a little bit more, and if I was using a chair, it'd be right here off of this side, and I'd be holding onto it, or the wall, or the counter, and I'd be pushing. So if you don't need your hand on your hip, press your hands away from you. And now take your head, raise the head, because you're going to see just how far out of vertical your high arm is. Pull the high arm up, tip the head back, eyes open, press the hips to the side, keep pulling the high arm up. Now release the high arm. Okay, don't move your legs. Look down at them, relax the arms. Your body's going to embrace this forward fold, right? And if you're like, well, not exactly, just try to diffuse the energy and just let gravity win, including the neck. We don't need to look up and see anymore, okay? So let the head relax. Look at your feet. Draw down. Try to bring your forehead towards that knee. Don't fight it, though. Just draw it towards the leg. It's probably not going to touch. I'm going to teach you how it's going to touch, though. If you will bend your front knee, you will find that your head and your knee slide towards each other. And not only that, you will now feel your hamstring stretch in a very different way on that back leg. Re-straighten the front leg. Pull your belly button up into your body. Put your hands along that front leg and help guide yourself up so that you're not using your back to load as you come out of it. And now release and relax. Okay. Your leg number one was very telling. And now you decide, do I actually really need that chair? Right? Because if you do, put yourself next to your chair. Go in, cross it over, right? And go, just how far across can I get my leg? Okay. So where are we going? The hips need to push in the direction of the trailing leg. And you might get yourself way too far crossed and go, well, I can't push. There is a happy medium between being just crossed and finding your sweet spot, right? Okay, if you're using your chair, it's over here. Push away from the chair, or the hand is on the hip. Take the other arm up. Just for the demonstration, I'm going to show you the profile of this. So stay put. You're just holding. Now, the reason why I'm trying to get you guys to pull yourself up is that often when we cross over and we start this stretch, Look how far forward my upper body is in relation to where my anchor leg is, the leg that's receiving the stretch. I'm on this diagonal line, but really we want to pull up, right? So slide the hip, take your chin if you can, raise it up, pull the arm back, feel your whole body kind of come back and lean at the same time. If you're able to keep raising the chin to spot your hand without losing your balance, mind you, right? Go slow, even better. The legs, relax the arms, and then you're telling yourself, forward fold, right? Just, you're not even doing a fold. It's just a rounding down. Down you go. However slow, maybe your hands are guiding you down. I will say this, and I forgot to mention it on the other leg. If you're here in this hanging motion and your hands can't touch the floor and you're not using your chair, this is what I call no man's land, okay? And it's not really a good spot for our body. So if you're able to get to the floor, then your hands to floor are creating a little bit of a brace. If you can't get your hands to the floor, then you need to put them on that front leg. Now, you're looking at that front knee, and you're going to continue to let your spine relax, trying not to lose your balance. Start softening the front leg. If your hands are on the floor, it makes it easier to balance yourself, okay? So, soften the front leg, let your body draw forward so that you can get as connected as possible, forehead to knee, and then press yourself back to a straight leg position, hands to legs, help your body up the wall, slow and steady, come out of it, uncross, grab a little drink, we're gonna go to the floor, okay? Water. So yesterday, Jen was feeling quite adventurous, and we got on the paddle boards right out there in that beautiful lagoon. We paddle boarded the whole thing, which isn't far, but it seemed like every time we stopped paddling, we kept in, we would just get swept back just as quickly. Like, it'd take us 100 strokes to get somewhere, and then in seconds we'd be back to where we started. So anyway, it was quite fun. Yep. The banana ray. That's right. Okay, I'm gonna shake out my get the sand off my mat before I throw my back on it. But you guys are coming down to your back. I hope you have your little stretch out strap handy. Okay, down we go. So, one foot. Create a loop. Put it in the loop. Doesn't matter which leg. What I want you to do is just to work that little leg up and down. This is not supposed to feel like it's work, okay? Us moving our leg with the use of this strap, it gives your arms some of the workload so that the leg doesn't feel like it's working. And now, if everything feels comfortable, then straighten out leg number 2. Can you connect when the legs come down? Can you connect so that you feel the calf, which is right here, touch the floor? And when the leg goes up, can you connect the second leg and keep that calf on the floor, right? Now, look at the high foot, internally rotated. When it comes down, it's gonna cross over the other leg. So pick up your head for a second, Look at both feet, even if you need to support your head, okay? I want ankles crossed, and I want the feet, the toes going. They're both into what's called internal rotation. You're making an X. This is really important. As the leg comes up, don't lose that internal rotation because it's going to stretch the lateral line of that hamstring. When the leg comes down, it goes back into that crisscrossed ankle, toes flexed and pointed in. Raise up, give it a little pull on the up, guide it down, two straight strong legs. Raise up, tug on the strap, press the heel towards the ceiling. Down it goes. Inhale, hold for a moment, and releasing. Bring it up, hold, release. Now take all of the action away, relax. So, you ready? You are going to roll the toes out, the knee's going to roll out, the leg is going to kind of sweep out to the side. It's bent though, and the beauty of having your strap is that you're trying to get this leg to, like, I don't know, just hover along the ground, but you don't want the foot touching the floor. You want the foot and the knee on the same plane. Give it a tug with the leg bent. Draw it back into the body middle, stretch it out. Reverse order. Draw the knee towards the middle, it's bent. Pull on the strap so that you feel like you're pulling your foot and the knee is coming closer to your middle. And then lay that bent leg out into its open line, stretch it down, close it in. Sweep it wide, turning the knee and the foot and the hip into external rotation. Tug on the strap, pull it up, sweep the knee up to center with a nice bend position. Push the leg long. Reverse. It comes through the middle. Pull, pull, pull on the foot. Let the knee float out. And then lengthen the leg and close. You're going to do one more rotation. It doesn't matter if you're sweeping wide or coming through the middle. I did try to establish a little rhythm here, right? Pull on it. The knee glides up to the middle, and then the leg pushes out. This is going to be your last one. Pull it up through the middle. Pull on that foot, and then let the knee float out. And now hold it here. So for me, I'm using my right leg as my stretch leg, but I've got my left hand holding the strap. Are you ready? Take your right, if you're in the opposite position than I am, it's opposite hand holding the strap, so that that free hand, you're going to lay it along the inside of that knee. And you're going to find that you're just going to hold here for a moment. Your stretch just increased by you putting your hand along the inside of that knee. You're pulling on your foot with the other arm, right? And just get your hip line and your shoulders as square to the floor as you can. Now, take the arm away, let the leg go back to its beginning phase. All right? We're going to switch legs, but first, both legs bend. We're going to do a little bridge. Take your time, pull your navel in, squeeze the buns, align your neck to neutral, and then peel your back body off the mat. When you go into lifting the hips, just do it gingerly, okay, to make sure that you really are in pelvic tilt, and release. Roll the shoulders up off the mat because that will be helpful in getting your foot looped up on the other side. Exactly the way we did it on leg one, okay? One leg is bent. We are taking this position and we're going to do up and downs. We'll do about 5. Exhale on the up, and then we'll increase the stretch line by straightening out leg number 2. Give a little good tug right there at the high end. Release, tug, feel the extra stretch by you having the ability to pull that leg to you. And now, straighten your leg. Let's get our mind into feeling the calf come down and touch the floor on the down. and feel the calf on the leg that's down stay down, regardless of where your high leg is. That is your gauge. When you pull this high leg up, if the calf leaves the floor on the down straight leg, then you have pulled your high leg too high for what your flexibility is. All right, do one more like this. Give a good tug. And now, as the leg comes down, the head comes up, you're going to adjust the legs to crisscrossed and pigeon-toed. Both legs flexed, pigeon-toed, crisscrossed. So work the leg up, keep it toes turned in, up it goes as high as you can get it and still have it straight. And now down it comes. Feel the ankles kind of touch each other, right? Pull it up. You may find that it's really challenging to keep your down leg actually in its internally rotated position. So much so that when it comes down, you might take an extra moment to look at your feet, right? To actually feel the legs be as straight and as crossed as you can get them. Part of this is kind of IT band work in a very strange way when the legs are down and the feet are turned into each other and you're trying to have your legs straight, right? One leg is not resting on top of the thigh of the other leg. Both legs are like, that's how straight and connected I want them to be. This is your last time up. Hold it up, keep it up, push the heel away from you. Look at your foot, right? Try not to just crank the toes back. You want to decrease that line at the ankle joint. And now, as you release out of it, we're going to go to the last move here. Start letting the knee float out to the side, okay? As you pull the foot towards you, take a moment. Because this is a kind of a foreign action for the body, it's always good to put eyes on. Sometimes you think your parts are doing something, but then upon closer inspection, you realize, oh, well, that's not right at all. Try to get this butt cheek on your straight leg really tight. The leg is staying long so that knee flattens out. Draw the knee up to the middle. It's still bent. And then push the foot away. Now you ready? Pull, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Float the knee out. Maybe you have to teach yourself to use that hand more than just on the last repetition. Slide the leg back to straight, close it in. Twist the leg and the hip and the foot and the knee to external rotation. The leg is laying out to the side. Pull on that strap. Lengthen the other leg. Jen, can you see the rainbow? There is a little strip of rainbow up there. Now, sorry, I get distracted. I'm very easily distracted.
Beautiful.
Pull the knee up to the middle. Give a good tug, right? Push it away. Pull it up. Float it out. I'm going to activate. I'm going to use my hand. Hand to knee. Squeeze the bun. Nice straight leg over there. Press the leg to its floated straight position. Sweep the knee out. Pull it up. Knee comes to middle. Push it back down. Knee comes up through the middle. Slide it out to the side. It's torque. This is internal and external hip rotation, primarily focusing on external hip rotation. Slide the leg out. You've got one more round. Pull it around, bring the knee to center, push the leg out, pull it back up. This is your last one. So opposite hand to the stretch leg has got the strap. Let the knee float out to the side, okay? Now, what we don't want to do is get our foot kind of up to the crotch with a really bent leg. It's like a 90-degree bent leg is where we're after. So release enough of the strap line so that that leg is more like 90 degree. And here's where your hand is going to do its extra assist. Lay that hand along the inside of the knee. Squeeze the bun on the down leg so your body's not rolling to the side. Right? Shoulders out of the ears. Few more seconds. Now, bring the leg up. Set the foot down. Easy does it. Bending leg number 2. Bring it up. You know, the interesting thing is that sometimes if you've got knee issues going on, just getting your legs fully extended presents, you can get them fully extended, but then when you go to transition the leg, the knee doesn't feel comfortable because it's almost been hyperextended, right? So if you have swelling or anything going on in your knees, just know that they might be a little sensitive when you come out of your stiff-legged movements. So both feet are neutral, navel to spine. Without doing full bridge, I want you to just undulate your spine. A little space between the low back and the mat, and then no space. Lift the middle back away from the floor. We are not lifting the hips. Draw the back down. Squeeze your belly to spine and buns. Lift the low back away. Draw it back down. You ready? Lift the low back away, draw it back down, and here's where I want you to pull your tiptoes off the floor and peel your buns up. And now start making your adjustments with your neck, right? So that your neck is neutral, because it's going to allow you to lift your buns a little higher. Keep trying to tuck your shoulders under you a little bit more. And then reset your pelvic tilt. Toes are still off the floor if you can. How wide have your knees splayed? Close them back in, right? Ribs down, hip bones towards the waistline. Ribs towards the waist, hip bones towards the waist. Neck is neutral, palms are open, toes off the floor if you can. And then release and relax. Now, roll yourself to your side. I left my foot banded, so I'm just rolling so that that's going to be my top leg. Nothing new. We're going to get into our nerve glide and quadricep stretch, okay? So, if you need your pillow, maybe you don't want to lay on your arm. Put your little towel under your head. Get yourself comfortable. Take a moment, right? This is just another version. We're going to work, so I hope that you have got your strap handy, because we're going to combine this nerve glide of swinging the leg forward, pull it back. It's a little coordinated action that you're doing with this strap, right? So sweep the leg, full extension, start pulling the leg back, choke up on the strap, anchor it over your shoulder, pinch your derriere so that you're like, oh, okay, that's nice and lovely right there. And then let out enough strap so it can gently swing forward. You're now pulling the strap, right, so that you get extra leg stretch. The strap slides through the hands, right, over the shoulder. And right there is when you go zip. Releasing, sweeping. Zip. Releasing. Inhale. Holding and exhaling. Press the heel away and slide the hip back. Oh, that is a learned thing of how to almost create traction just by you knowing where to put your hips. Holding right here. So this is going to be what we hold, because now if you can, without too much of a fight, how do we transition, right? Do you have to entirely release this leg, or can you just take your bottom leg, get it out of your way, and go, okay, I'm going to start rolling forward. How much effort does it take to get you back into being centered on your space? Wiggling the hips, So stay with me on this, okay? Um, there is something that I do, which is what I'm doing right now. Lifting the leg, lifting the other leg. It like makes me feel like I'm getting my body nice and flush to the floor. However, this is a really good position right here. See, we're banded, right? Take the banded leg. Don't roll the hip away from the floor, but lift at the knee. So we are activating the glute when we get the knee from the floor, so long as you can keep your hips square, right? And in a moment, we're going to add in the extra quad stretch. So let's do 5 more lifts. 4, 3, 2. Now bring it down, squeeze your buns. Now pull on your strap till you feel like you're getting the degree of stretch in your thigh that feels good to you. And if you're so inclined to not only pull on your strap, but include the hand to the stretch, so long as you don't lift that hip off the floor, crimp your body. Okay? Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and now. Take your time, roll yourself out of it the way you got into it, right? Sit yourself up. I'm going to go end to get my other leg going so that I can keep facing you all. You decide, do you need your little pillow? Your pillow's only used for a couple of moments, but it still is more comfortable than having your head and that neck kind of cocked. This little mat here, it's specifically it has like a moisture wicking so that it doesn't absorb, and even though the sand gets on it, it shakes out. I don't know what this fabric is, but it's so nice to have the extra little space to not be a sugar cookie. Okay, you ready? If you already started without me, I hope that you are doing your nerve glide, swinging the leg forward. Bottom leg is kind of pulled up, right, as your balance. Swing it forward. What's required of you to keep a nice straight leg on that forward swing? Hinge back, right? It might take a couple of repetitions for you to find the rhythm of what your work arms are doing. Oh man. Even though we just did when we were on our back, our little hamstring stretches, pulling the leg forward here, right, and getting the foot flexed and sliding the hip back is such an extra bonus. So on the next forward slide, we're all going to practice what I'm talking about in regards to the hip, okay? So as the leg comes forward, right, hold it. And you might initially feel a really nice stretch. And then try as if you were trying to roll your back down to flat position. You're not going to get your hips to roll flat, but just by you retracting back a little bit, the stretch will increase, and then reset yourself to go back into the quadricep stretch, right? Pull, zipping and tucking, release the leg, swing it forward. As you pull up into that strap, flex the foot. As you flex the foot, roll the hip back, release. That puts us in our deepest nerve glide that we can get with the foot flexed and the hip pulling back. We are lengthening along the back body line. If you haven't quite gotten what I mean by the pullback, just give it time, right? You could even pick up your head and go, what does she mean? Press the heel away and try to pull your hip back and release. This is going to be the quadricep one that we hold. So settle in, start telling yourself, how do I get to face down position, right? Get your arms untangled from you. Your towel. Square up into your center space here. And then give me extending, alternating leg raises, right? Stiff leg lift, bent leg lift, stiff leg lift, bent leg lift. And now stay with just the bent leg lift. As your bent leg is lifting, try not to roll the hips from the floor, just lift from the knee. Okay? You want to lift, but first you want to pinch. Pinch your buns and then barely lift the knee. Right? Up and down. There it is. And because you're holding on your strap, you'll find that the foot is actually pushing against the strap a little bit. And that's not uncommon, right? But the thing is your arms are keeping that leg into a nice 90 degree. And I know they are because I'm checking on Jen. She's doing it perfectly. Now, touch down with the thigh, squeeze the buns, start pulling on the strap till you feel like you got the degree of stretch that works for you. Just because you're able to pull further, right, doesn't necessarily mean that your stretch is better. It's all based on what it feels like. So, if you pull and you're able to get hand to foot and strap to foot, and today there's no getting there. When I woke up this morning, my knee felt really tight, and I thought, what did I do yesterday? And then it dawned on me, Rich and I were playing it's called Kadima. And literally, I'm like jumping all over the place and running and trying to, keep this ball in the air. I had no pain when I was doing it yesterday, but certainly today I've definitely look, I can't even hardly get my hand to my
But you
foot.
had your own private beach party.
We had our own private beach party yesterday. Really, it was fantastic. So I could struggle to get my hand to my foot, but so many things would kick off in a bad way that I know I don't need to. What's more important, hold for just a few more seconds, is for you to keep wiggling the inner thighs to touch, right? And for you to really activate your buns into the equation. And when you're activating your buns, can you pull your belly button up into your body too? It's such a strange thing to lay on your belly and try to activate it at the same time. But do buns and belly up. You'll feel them. You'll actually feel your abdominal muscles working when you're laying on them like this. And now, release, relax. Take yourself, easy does it. Side lying. I hope that you're you'll stay with me for this. I want to say it's going to be the last stretch, but I think we're probably going to do two more. Okay, so from our side lying position, get your little towel, your pillow, your yoga block, or just lay on your arm. Either whatever version you pick, I want it to be so that your head, that there's not this crimp in your neck. So that's, you got to get the bottom shoulder out from under you enough so that you're resting comfortably. Okay, top arm. We've already in a bent over hanging position. We started shoulder circumduction. That was our second move in our workout this morning, right? So now your circle gets as big as your shoulder can tolerate. And not only that, as your reminder, you can always hand to shoulder. So it's the elbow drawing the circle. And if everything is feeling really fantastic and you want more, then you spend a little bit longer in this wide sweep line. We are not trying to roll the back to a squared position. You're just allowing the weight of your arm to open up into that full stretch. What I want you to try to do is, if you are working with a straight arm, as it pulls back, don't fight for it to be straight. Let the elbow soften, because then the joint will go further and you won't feel like you're straining. Okay? So inhale through the round. As you come into your wide, Think soft elbow, think shoulder blades gliding towards one another. You could always turn your head if you wanted to. If you wanted to put eyes on your elbow, just turn your head, watch the arm work. We're going to do one more. Inhale, take your time. This is going to be the position you hold. Now, as you come out of it, press yourself up. We're transitioning to the other arm, but there's going to be a stretch in the middle of this. So push yourself up. Your legs are going to stay offset. I just want you to think about the fantastic stretch line that we get through the back if we post down on the elbow, right? And then let the hand on this diagonal line lengthen. This support elbow, there really is just the right spot for it. So, take a moment so that when you start lengthening this other arm, you don't feel like you're bound up, but yet you feel like you're supported and not straining. And that whole, it's called subscap, the area under your scapula down across that back should be getting a stretch. Slide the straight arm back, push yourself up. You're just going to flop yourself end to end, get yourself set up for the other shoulder circumduction. Here we go. Comfortably placed, shoulder out from under, right? Legs bent, high arm is up. Now, if your arm tends to start, okay, so think about the clock. We are not wanting to work our arm clockwise. You want to work your arm counterclockwise. That's important. Counterclockwise, right? Which is entirely open to interpretation based on which angle you think is clockwise. It's important that for me, I'm working on this extension, and it only happens comfortably for me. We don't need to do internal shoulder rotation. We're focusing on the external shoulder rotation. So that's why my clock, I feel like I'm in a counterclockwise position. Okay. If you're working this huge circle, as your reminder, soften the elbow, turn the head, eyes on the elbow so you can watch your arms stay soft elbows, and release. When I work one-on-one with somebody, this is a position that I try to teach them. Before you get to the spot where you're holding your widest stretch, you should have started to try to roll the shoulder joint back into its proper sitting girdle position, which might not mean anything to you, but we don't just want to squeeze the shoulders back. We want to roll them around while that arm is opening. And it would resemble something close to like a rotator cuff setup here. So this is going to be the one you hold. Your thumb, as you're holding it, right, see if you can tip your thumb towards the floor, which would render your palm turned in towards your face. That is the best way that I can describe what it would be to put your shoulder at the right articulation so that the thumb is pointed to the floor, the elbow slightly lifted, but yet the thumb and the elbow are on the same plane. And that might feel a little awkward there because now the back of your shoulder is having to do something to sustain that position. And release. this is what we're finishing with. Gently help yourself up, offset that back leg. Okay. Take your time. Okay. When you come down on this elbow, find the sweet spot that allows you to be supported. You're going to take this long reach. Hopefully your hand will connect to the floor because that will help you guide. And then you just work out to the degree that feels comfortable. This is not about you putting your forehead on the mat. If you do that, you've kind of gone too far. What you can do is draw your ear right up into the bicep. Lean back onto your supporting elbow and then push yourself up. Go crisscross for a moment, just for a moment. We're going to finish with our deep breath here. Whether you're in crisscross or straight legs, I want you to do this. A little shifting of your derriere. Imagine that someone was standing behind you and they were pulling on your wrists. So as you were rocking your hips, you could feel your spine get into a slightly better S. And then release the arms, draw the shoulders down, hands to knees. Even if you're straight leg, put your arms around the undersides of the thighs. Keep trying to pull the shoulders down and back. Draw your chin to the chest. Relax your body. Job well done, class. Thank you so much. We are on the move today. So literally, the boys were like, what time can you get back to the boat? And today of all days, we went extra long. So I hope you all have a fantastic day.
Hey, my friend.
Hey, girlfriend. How are you?
I'm so jelly, but look, I have palm trees behind me too, so I'm okay.
It's funny. I was just gonna say, it looks like you're in a tropical oasis as well.
It's just my backyard.
Yeah. Just your little perfect paradise.
Hey, I miss y'all. Y'all have a safe trip today.
Thank you so much. We'll check in with you later.
Perfect. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Michelle. Thank you.
Bye, Sandy. We'll be checking in from Nassau tomorrow if all goes well. So stay tuned for another tropical island view. We'll see if there's any difference from one to the next. I don't know.
This was a beautiful setting.
It is. We kind of hate to leave, but we've seen every inch of the island as far as we can. And so the fact that you guys got the email was pretty good because I put a picture in there and I thought, I just don't know it. And then to know that I signed into my own wrong class. My apologies. But
I love this workout today.
oh, thank you, Marlene.
It was great.
I knew you would. I appreciate it.
Good. Thank you. See you
guys
tomorrow.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.